There are a number of subwoofers on the market that come in both vertical and horizontal configurations. A couple examples in our own Axiom brand line, we have an EP600 subwoofer and an EP800 subwoofer. They're fairly tall, and so for some applications, people ask us to construct them in a way that they can be mounted horizontally instead of vertically. And we had a question recently, is that going to affect the bass performance? And the answer is yes, but it might not be detrimental. It could be beneficial. It's all dependent on your room. Now, the question is why? Well, if you think of a vertical subwoofer, a tall subwoofer where the woofer is, let's say a foot, 2, 3, whatever, off the floor or the bottom of the cabinet, then the loading that woofer is going to see from the floor boundary is going to be different and probably less than if that subwoofer was turned on its side. Now the woofers might only be 6 inches, 4 inches, whatever, from the floor boundary. So what will likely happen is that if you take a vertically configured subwoofer and lay it down horizontally, you're likely going to get a pickup in bass level, bass information. And like I said, it could be a good thing, it may not be a good thing, it all depends. Now luckily, all of the rules for positioning will still apply and for tuning the subwoofer. And hopefully you have the ability to move the subwoofer around a little bit. I know a lot of people have setups where the subwoofer can only fit in a particular place, and unfortunately you're pretty much, other than pulling a little bit out from the wall or whatever, you're pretty limited in the amount of actual acoustic tuning that you can do. But there are some things and settings in many AVRs to allow you to flatten or EQ the bass response. I'm not personally a fan of most of those systems, but as long as they're only acting at low frequencies, so let's say below 200 hertz or so, they're not going to interfere with the performance of the main speakers in your system. So I hope that answers that fairly simple question of what's going to happen. Again, always remember that drive units and the actual loudspeaker cabinet or subwoofer cabinet and its position and proximity to boundaries, including the floor in the room, will have an impact on bass performance. Thank you very much for your questions. As you can see, it's resulted in another video to answer one of those questions. Please keep the comments coming, and I appreciate, as always, you watching.